Hi, I'm Robin.
And I'm Kim.
In this video, we're going to be talking about Shurley Grammar for 2nd through 5th grade. So to start off, what do we need at home to do Shurley Grammar that starts in 2nd grade?
So there's actually 4 parts to the Shurley Grammar setup that you'll need every year for 2nd through 5th grade. You'll need the student textbook, which is a hardcover text.
Okay.
Then you'll need the student workbook that you turn into your teacher. You need the test booklet that you turn into your teacher.
And the teacher uses that in the classroom.
That's right. She will unbind it, take it apart, and so you'll get individual worksheets sent home from those books.
Again, so that we talked about this in another video, but that way there's less books for students to have to carry back and forth to school.
That's right. And they don't have to be flipping pages, and it's a more straightforward method.
Okay.
And then also you're going to need the teacher key. Not the teacher manual. So the teacher manual is actually a book that costs about $350. But what you want is the teacher key that's less than $25.
Yeah.
So that's the one you want.
I made that mistake one year, but only one year.
Only once.
I made sure I was buying just the answer key.
Yes.
That's all you need. You don't need the manual, just the answer key.
That's right. We are not asking to buy a $350 book, I promise. But so you need those pieces. 2 of them come to school, and they'll come home in pieces as you need them. And then the teacher key, you leave it home and you use it with your home day work. And the textbook will come back and forth to school.
Okay. Now, like other subjects, the teacher in the classroom is doing all of the teaching of new contents, right? Like she's going to teach them all the new things they're going to learn in the classroom. When the student comes home on home days as a co-teacher, what is my responsibility?
So you have 2 roles that you play in Shurley Grammar. And the first is just to review the grammar that was taught. The lesson plans will say review chapter 3, lesson 4.
So whatever was taught the day before in class.
That's right. And so your job as reviewer is just to make sure your student is comfortable with it, that you, if they don't need more work on adjectives, you don't have anything to do. But if they are kind of struggling with what is an adjective, then that's your chance to go back and revisit that with them.
And we use the student textbook for that. Like we just kind of go through it together. And I just go through the examples that are already in the student textbook and just to check in with my students' understanding.
That's
correct.
correct.
Sure they understand.
And you as the co-teacher get to decide what that looks like based on your child's needs.
Okay.
So
Sounds good.
and then the second part of it is going to be the written practice that does go back graded. And that will almost always be something called a classroom practice.
Okay.
Or the one right before a test is called the chapter checkout. Okay. And what they do is just like with math, they complete this worksheet.
Okay.
And it can be as side by side as needed, especially in 2nd grade, as they are learning this new question and answer flow. They're going to need you right there with them.
A little bit more to go through it.
Yes, absolutely. As their reading ability still is growing and adapting.
But growing into 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, a student might be able to complete this on their own and then just turn it into mom or co-teacher to grade it.
Exactly. These will vary because these are so formulaic. They very quickly become something your child can be in control of. Mm-hmm. And you can put it in front of them and kind of step away, but not at 2nd grade, not on classroom practice 1. It is something that you and them have to work through when they're ready to engage
together.
That's right. So you sit with them until they are able to do it. Either their reading is advanced enough or their skills are.
Now, what's the correct way for a co-teacher to grade this? So let's say my student has completed their classroom practice for Shurley Grammar. What do I need to do to grade it? I definitely need my answer key.
So
and then mark what they got wrong.
That's right. So you have an answer key. And you will be able to find which classroom practice you're looking for, and it will have it completely filled out.
Okay.
And so you're just looking for matching. And so you're going to put an X where they got it wrong. Mm-hmm. And then let's say I go down this page and I've put 4 X's. So at the top of the page, I'm going to write -4.
Okay.
At that point, I'm going to give it back to my student and have them go try those 4 questions again. If they get them correct, great. If they are still struggling, that's my cue to go back and reteach. And that's kind of what I use as a
Then
mom.
you do it with them.
That's right. To know that I need to sit down and, like, for example, this one is working on singular and plural. So if they are struggling with identifying the difference in singular and plural, I know that that's something I need to work with them again
Practice
and practice more. And so once we get those 4 wrong answers corrected, then at the top, I write the word corrected with all the letters.
Initial and correction.
And then I sign it. And that is my way of communicating from me as co-teacher to the classroom teacher that my child knows this knowledge. They
We
are
went
ready.
over this
That's right.
knowledge. We did it, even if we had to do it together. Maybe
Yes.
a note if
Yeah,
if they
absolutely.
particularly struggled, like you're saying with the concept, then can leave a note for the teacher. But
That's right. And the fun thing about Shurley Grammar is that they teach more each year, but the skills are reviewed every single year. So for example, like I said, this one has singular and plural. They'll do singular and plural again in 5th grade. Like they will engage earlier in the year. They'll do it for less time. They will get faster, but they go back. And that's called a spiral curriculum. So they keep re-engaging with it at their level. So this is very basic singular and plural because this is a 2nd grade one, but the 5th graders are going to do it, but their words are going to be
topics never fully go away. They
exactly. They
Now-
come back again and again.
At the beginning of all of the practices are sentences to classify. And so this is when in Shurley Grammar, they learn to diagram sentences. The top often tends to be the greatest struggle for my students in the past. It can be frustrating as they learn to diagram these sentences. And so we have an example sentence here. And can you teach us how to go through the question and answer flow of how to diagram a sentence? You have the student.
Before we do that, I want to point out that every classroom practice, the exercise 1, where they are using this question and answer flow, is fully scripted in the teacher key.
Okay.
So there's 2 parts to the teacher key. The first one is the answer key where I can find classroom practice 35 and I can rate it. But in the back third of the book is the script for the sentence, my big yellow dog slept soundly under our oak tree. It will help me walk my student through it. So if they are still struggling with that, it is there and ready for you as a parent.
So I can use that as a resource in my teacher key
Yes.
to help my student diagram
Yes.
a sentence. So the sentence we have here today is the happy girl kicked her dad the ball quickly.
And so the question answer flow starts the same way every time. And I'm just going to go through the whole sequence, but this is something your students will learn over the years. This sentence has an indirect object, so they actually won't learn it until the very, very end of 3rd grade, and they won't be expected to do well with it until 4th grade.
Yes.
But I wanted to kind of walk through what a full sentence might look through.
Now, 2nd graders, they only start with one, like pattern 1. It's very straightforward sentence.
That's correct. Their whole sentences are going to be, they're going to have a subject, noun, and a verb, and they're going to do things with those nouns and verbs, but they're never going to have anything.
It's not going to get more
down there.
complicated.
That's right. And so they are taught the format, and this is how Shurley Grammar does this. So the happy girl kicked her dad the ball quickly. Who kicked her dad the ball quickly? Girl, subject, noun. What's being said about girl? Girl kicked. Verb. Girl kicked what? Ball. Verify the noun. Does ball mean the same thing as girl? No. Ball, direct object. Girl kicked ball to whom? Dad, indirect object. How kicked ball how? Kicked quickly, adverb. The kids memorize is just an article adjective. Whose dad? Her dad. Possessive, pronoun, adjective. What kind of girl? Happy, adjective. The article adjective. Period, statement, declarative sentence.
Okay. You did a great job. Good job. But with that, you asked questions in a certain order. And so that's what you're saying, that if you would like to learn how to ask these guiding questions with your student to help them diagram the sentences, they can find them in the back of the teacher key.
That's right.
And we'll walk them through it.
That's right. And the same questions happen in the same order every time.
So you sort of get that rhythm and feel for it.
Exactly.
Once you practice it several times with
Exactly.
your student.
Yes.
Okay. All right, and this sentence is, like you said, this is in orthography, so this would probably be a 4th grade sentence.
Yes, this is a pattern 3 sentence. So they learn it, they talk about it at the
Okay.
very end of 3rd grade, and then they start it in 4th grade.
Okay, so I think we've about covered everything in Shurley Grammar, how to diagram a sentence or where to go if you need help, guiding your student through diagramming a sentence. And all of these abbreviations, everything up here, this is something they learn along the way. And it is also in the teacher key. So you'll be able to pick that up as a co-teacher as well. And we covered how to grade and correct.
Yes. And this is another place that's great to let your kids teach you.
Okay.
This is a great way for them to talk through you. And ultimately, we use this question and answer flow because it becomes the internal dialogue that the kid is having with the sentence.
Okay.
So that ultimately they are able to
internalize those steps of
Yes,
how to classify the sentence.
exactly.
Great. And where can teachers go where can co-teachers go if they have questions about Shurley Grammar?
Your classroom teacher is a great resource if you have any questions or if you're confused about why something works the way it does.
All right, great. That's all we have for Shurley Grammar. Thanks for watching.